Hi guys. I said I would record a video of I wanted to just kind of show you how I finish up the crackle paste covers, like, seal it and all that. And so I thought I would just kind of record that, I guess, real quick. And then also on the live stream today, I was putting together signatures for some little micro mini, I guess, junk journals. And so I need to stitch these in. I need to stitch the signatures in to these. So I thought, and I said that I would record that. So I'm going to do that. All this stuff is all stuff that I've put together for basically a whole bunch of like flower garden naturey kind of journals that I'm working on for my shop. This is kind of the idea here. I've got a bunch of these little file folders that I'm going to attach some kind of image or something like that onto the covers, and then just gonna do a single signature in each one and embellish them florally, if you know what I'm saying, for sale. So anyway, a little bit bigger than the chunky minis that I have in there now, which are this size. So those are going to be a little bit bigger, but most likely just as fat. So kind of excited about those because I've been working on them for quite a while, getting stuff together. And anyway, so I don't know if I might work on those a little bit. And then I also put together pages for signatures for a whole bunch of other kind of medium-sized journals. So basically I just put together these like packets, I guess, of papers that I'm going to use in each of, I've got like 10 or 12 kind of medium-sized journals that I want to get started. So I don't know, I might work on kind of organizing those a little bit too. Anyway, so I thought I would just kind of prep these a little bit and kind of give you an idea of, my process. So that that walnut ink, the walnut dye ink or whatever that I use on these, it's water soluble. So it's gonna move again when I put the varnish on there because it's like an acrylic varnish. So basically I'm just kind of going around on these and sort of sanding off the the rough edges, and that's okay. So I wanted to mention that ink is water soluble because you're going to see that I'm sort of exposing the white crackle paste again around the edges, and that's okay because when I varnish this, the ink is going to kind of spread out onto that anyways, and it's going to like re-dye that part. So that's why I'm kind of doing this now before I varnish them. So, and I varnish them for a couple of reasons. First of all, because I want to make sure that this stuff doesn't pop off, because like if I bend this is actually kind of flexible, this board. So I want to make sure that stuff does not pop off. And that stuff is definitely going to seal it. It'll sink down in there. It's pretty thin, so the stuff that I use is pretty thin. So it'll definitely sink down in the cracks and adhere it to the board. So, and I'm just kind of rounding the corners a little bit. And, just the rough edges so that they're kind of, you know, pleasant to touch or whatever. And making a mess, basically. And I'm just using a nail file, like a pretty heavy-duty nail file. And then some of this stuff I'm going to just trim off. So if I had used any kind of like texture paste with like a stencil before I had applied the crackle paste, this would be a good time to sort of sand down the crackle paste so that you could see that texture a little bit more if that's something that, you know, you did. But I did not do that on these, so I'm basically just kind of smoothing out the edges a little bit. And this one has quite a bit on the edges, and some of it just, you know, flakes off. Yeah, this one has some big chunks too that are kind of hanging off on the edges. You know, and I want to keep this pretty rustic. You know, it's definitely a rustic finish, you know. So I'm not trying to like make it like perfect or anything. I'm just, you know, knocking off the rough edges basically around the edges of the cover so that it's a little bit more pleasant to touch, you know. So basically, it's just a matter of, you know, I just kind of drop, you know, little bits of it all around, and you'll see that that dye is going to move a little bit. See, it's starting to dissolve. See how it's kind of like filling in those areas that where the white paste had gotten exposed. So I try not to work this too long, right? Because I don't really want to see a whole bunch of brush strokes. And if I work it too long, you know, it's going to look painted, and I don't really want that. So I just kind of will sort of dab it a little bit to kind of get rid of some of those brush strokes. Yeah, so, and this will dry pretty quickly, and then I'm going to come back and do another coat on there. And the next time I coat it, it won't move, you know. I try to do this relatively quickly so that the dye doesn't have a chance to dissolve too much. It got a little bit too reactivated on that one for my taste. Yeah, and you can definitely see the brush strokes, so I need new mats, new craft mats, really bad. Just saying. Gone through so many craft mats. These just happen to be like the cheapest ones, and I like them because they stand up to heat really well, and you know. So that one's not too bad as far as brush strokes. Yeah, worked a little bit quicker on that one. Yep, perfect. I'm recording, Bastion. Just so you know. So don't say anything you don't want the whole world to hear. Just saying. Yeah, so this one got a little bit more than I wanted it to get, but that's okay. All right, so that's basically it. I mean, to sealing that paste, you know. Like I said, I'll let that dry, and then in an hour or so, I'll come back and recoat it and do a second coat on it. Sometimes I'll use like triple thick on it, or something like that, or like a heavier kind of clear varnish, depending on what I want it to look like. Anyways, so this is pretty dry. I'm kind of curious to know if you guys would be interested in kind of like a craft room tour of my area, my studio. Just curious if you guys would, be into doing that. I could maybe record something using my phone or something. Could be fun, So anyway, I do want to stitch these in, and I promised that I would record that. So I just have these. I'm going to do 2 signatures in each of those, except for, I think this one, I think I just did a single signature in this one. Yeah. So anyway, so basically, before I do that, I like to go through and kind of fold in the pages that are a little bit too long, or trim them, depending. Sometimes I'll trim them. Sometimes I'll just fold them all in, and then later on down the road, I might trim them off or whatever, you know. But for the time being, I'm just folding them all in. That one is going to get trimmed though, because it's torn on the end there. It's one of those pieces of that map that I really like. So, all right. And then, you know, I definitely want to make sure that things are in the position that I want. If I have things that are a little bit short, you know, this way I like to alternate them. So like that one I put up to the top. So if I have another one that's a little short, I like to move it to the bottom. Just kind of alternate them so that the, you know, just to kind of maintain the thickness. So, all right. And I kind of like to have a pocket in the center of my signatures. So I'm going to go ahead and take that and move it to the center. So, all right. So that one's good. Let's look at this guy. My least favorite part of making junk journals is assembling signatures. I don't know why. I just, for some reason, it's just not my favorite part. So I'm just checking the width on it. Fold that in. And this one is a little bit too tall this way, but that's okay for now. Just turn it over and work on the other side on this one. This signature has a few more pages than the other one. But the pages are a little thinner, I think, so it's not like weird. All right, and then I'm going to go through and kind of even them out. So I'm just going to trim this one off right now because it's bugging me. So here's a, so since I like to have a pocket in the center of the signature, I just basically turn that over. I had pockets on the outside of it, and so I turned it over so I have like pockets on the inside now. So, okay. So those are done. So basically, I don't do a whole lot of measuring when it comes to sewing in the signatures. I just don't measure a lot. So I do a lot of eyeballing. So basically, what I'll do is just take the signatures, take like a Sharpie, and I'll just sort of mark them where I want the holes. And I'm just doing like a 2-hole, you know, stitch on these. And then I will take one of them and just, you know, kind of center it this way in there, and then I'll just make a little line where those dots are with my pen. And then I just eyeball this. So I kind of turn it backwards like that sometimes. And then I'm just putting these kind of evenly spaced, imagining that the signatures are in there already. So that's where I want my holes. So I'm just going to go ahead and punch them. Fun foam, 2 layers of the thick fun foam, just hot glued together. So yeah. So then I like to get my needle threaded before I punch the holes in there, because I honestly, like, I sort of use the needle for making the holes sometimes. It depends. On these, I think I'm going to use the pokey tool, you know, but I'll show you why. I like to have my needle ready to go, because I hate it when I'm punching holes and then when I pick it back up and go to insert the needle, then they move, and I hate that because I hate going one at a time through the pages. But also, I also hate it when sometimes on the signatures where you've got a lot of pages, it has a tendency to not actually go into the center of each one. Like they'll kind of move to the side. See, like that one went off just to the side a little bit. So I just try to get the needle going as quickly as I can. Oh, wait a second. So I'm starting at the back, because this is my back signature. This is the second signature. So I go from the outside of the spine through and then find that other hole. There. This is some I thought this was kind of cool, you guys. I got this at Goodwill, and I don't know if it's old or not, but it's actually waxed linen from Belfast. So anyway, I don't know if that's an old spool or not, but I thought it was pretty cool. So yeah, I'm using wax linen. And then I usually just tie them off kind of off center. I don't usually tie these in the center. I like to do them kind of different, you know, each one different. So I'm going to leave these long for now. And I think this is long enough for the second signature. Sometimes I try to even have the needle inserted through the journal cover before I punch the holes, because it just seems like the more I move this stuff, like the worse it gets. See, like I just moved it. And I know I should keep the clip on it, blah, 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 but whatever. So yeah, see, I hate doing that. Anyway. And, you know, especially on these little tiny journals, like working with a long needle like this too, it gets to be a little crazy. I should probably use a shorter needle. But anyways, through the back, and then through that second hole. I know you guys can't see anything. This is so messy. But you get the idea. And anybody who's made a junk journal basically knows how to do this, I'm pretty sure. And if not, I'm going to do it again. So I'm going to do another one. So hopefully it won't be as clumsy. So yeah, see, I said I'd try to tie one, you know, in different spots. So this is just that pocket page sticking out. So yeah, so there's the two little signatures sewn into this little mini, and you know, it's probably going to wind up being a little bit chunky, and I'll put some kind of, I'll probably wind up using like a hitch post on here, or maybe some kind of like a rubber band, like a hair tie or something, you know. And so then these pages will just get trimmed down a little bit, and wherever, you know, I decide to leave the part where I folded in the paper, I'll either make that just like a flip, like I might attach like a card on there or something and make that like a flip, or turn it into an actual pocket. And then I'll sometimes I'll staple this top and bottom, or just glue it, you know. And like these ones, I will I'll glue the open part on there, and I probably will use hot glue. I use hot glue a lot. I like it. It, you know, dries like instantly, and pretty user friendly. So anyway, like these pockets like that, I'll just take the hot glue and just, you know, a really thin application of it, you know, and that's it, you know, and that's not gonna go anywhere. And then I'll come in and probably attach like a little like maybe a little mini library pocket or something like that on the inside front cover, and then I'll do one on the inside back cover too. But before I do that, I'll put like an eyelet on the front and back for the closure. So, and you know, and then I just, until they get a closure on them, I just always keep them rubber banded shut. So let's do this one. This is the little Shakespeare book cover. So these, some of the pages are a little bit too tall. So I'm gonna actually trim them down before I sew this together, because that's a real pain to do after the book is assembled. Actually, this one, I think I'm gonna turn it into a pocket. So I'm just folding that up, and then I'll just stick it back in there like that, and we'll just make it a pocket. So let's see. Yeah, some of these are too tall, so I'm trimming them down now. I love this map. Did I mention that I love this map? She had more of them. I should have got more of them. I got one of Humboldt County, California, too. I gave it to my son. To some people, obvious reasons. Alright, so I don't have a pocket in the center of this signature, so I'm just going to take this envelope and stick it in there. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and leave it an envelope, I guess. Don't really like using envelopes in junk journals that much. I don't know. I just think they're bulky and kind of irritate me, but that's okay. This one, I'm just going to kind of fix it before I put this together. There. So now it's basically like two pockets. Alright, so that one's fixed. And this one I think was a little bit better. Didn't have as many issues. Yeah. So basically, this page was just a tiny bit too high. And then this one, I'm gonna turn into a pocket again. So I hope you guys can see what I'm doing. Alright, so I do want to make sure I have a pocket in the center of this one. So I'm going to actually take that map and stick it in there. Okay, and then I forgot to do this on the other one, but I want to sort of even this stuff out a little bit before I stitch it together. And that I'm going to bring down to the bottom so that I can put some tags and stuff in there that might wind up being a little bit taller. Let's check the width on this. Yeah. So I'm not going to worry too much about the width of these either at the moment. I'm just going to get this stitched together. So they're pretty good as far as height. You know, they, yeah. It does not bother me if they stick up just a teeny tiny bit above the book cover. That does not bother me at all. But, anyway. So, I want to mark the See, I don't have a pocket on the front of this either, but on the first signature on the beginning of the book, but I'll probably wind up gluing a pocket on there or something. So I'm just going to mark these, eyeball them. And then I'll take one of them. And it's going to be kind of hard to see because of the pattern on this fabric on there, but it's okay. I'm just going to do it kind of dark so I can see it. There. Folding this back so that I can see the where these need to be. I do, seriously, I eyeball it like all the time. It's a junk journal. It doesn't have to be perfect. That's the way I truly feel about it. They don't have to be absolutely perfect, you know. They have some character, I think. Alright, so I got my holes in there. Alright, I'm going to use a different, I think I'm going to use this black cord on, this is not waxed. It's, I don't know, maybe it is. It doesn't feel like it is. It could be, who knows. I'm going to use the shorter needle on here too. Got a little bit shorter upholstery needle here. But it has a fatter eye on it, so it works for these thicker cords. Alright, so I'm going to be a little bit more prepared on this one. So I'm going to insert that into the back. The first hole for the back signature. And then I'm doing this is the back signature right here. Actually, yeah, this will be the back signature. So then before I even pick it up, I'm gonna insert the needle in there before I even pick it up. And that way I know it's going to stay aligned. I'm not very good at this tutorial thing, you guys. I'm better at just kind of talking and showing and whatever. I don't know. I'm not very good at like explaining what I'm doing, I guess. So there's the first one. And then insert the needle for the second signature. Make sure there's no slack in there. Don't want to pull it too tight because, you know, this cover is somewhat fragile. It's not, you know, it's possible to rip the spine with the cord. So as long as it's not too tight, you know, I don't think it's going to be an issue at all. But yeah, so I'm probably not going to leave these that long, but I'll leave them for now, you know. So this one came out just a little high, but that's okay. I mean, I can always go back in, and it's really just that one page. So I'm actually going to just go ahead and trim it down right now. So I just kind of trim it up to the spine, and then I find that page in the back. Trim it to the spine, and then just tear it off. So yeah, and these, you know, I'll probably wind up just trimming these down a little bit. You know, I might do something like, you know, fold this one in, and, you know, use some kind of ribbon or something like that to turn this into a pocket or something. You know, that kind of thing. I didn't use any doilies in these, any like, you know, coffee stain doilies or anything like that in these, but that's okay. I mean, I could always, you know, maybe add some small ones on the edges of the pages as tuck spots and stuff like that. So, but anyway, so there's the second one. So I'm just going to go ahead and, you know, do these other three. And I'm gonna work on these this weekend, and I'll just kind of record my progress, I guess, so you guys can see how they are coming along. But so, well, I wanted to show you this one. You know, I decided to just do a single signature on here because of how narrow the spine was on it, and you know, it's just easier. So I made it pretty fat. You know, there's a lot in there, but excuse me. Yeah, and I think it's gonna work just fine. Isn't that cute? I love this book cover. Anyway, I might actually wind up keeping this one and use it for my my like addresses and stuff like that for my YouTube stuff, my YouTube friends, and keeping track of what's going on there. So so yeah, I've got these little like bundles here that are just papers that I'm going to fill. So let me just show you. This is how serious it is. So there's those, and I did this after I made dinner and after the live stream and stuff. So there's quite a few of them. So I'm thinking each one of these bundles is like 2 or 3 signatures. Okay, and that's just my method of kind of, when I did the little mini ones, I kind of just spread everything out on my desk, and that's fine if I'm just doing a couple of books. But if I'm trying to do a number of them, like, you know, there's 10 of them here, so these are all pretty similar in size. This one is a little bit smaller, but the rest of them are pretty much the same, the same size. So so I decided to do all of these at the same time, and because I like to have those kind of made up and ready to go, so that when I feel like just embellishing, you know, then I can do that, and I have the book already made, so it's easier for me that way. So anyways, I basically just set these out, and pretty similar to what Carla had said in the live stream, that she just like you know, sort of deals out, like I have a whole bunch of pieces of like atlas paper folded and ready to go. And so I kind of prep all of that stuff ahead of time, just tons and tons of book pages and music paper and book, maps and just everything, coffee dyed pattern paper and plain copy paper and drawing paper and just all this stuff. So I kind of get that stuff all organized and stacked up. I just stack it up, all of one type together, and then I clear off my desk, and I made, I think it was 18 piles, and so I just like put one map on each pile, and then I put one of the same book page on each pile, and then a piece of music paper on each pile, and that kind of stuff. So that's sort of how these got built. And I mean, not that each one has exactly the same thing in it, but at least that way I can try to make them pretty even. So yeah, I try to put like the same thickness of paper on each one every time I deal to that pile. I don't know if that makes sense, but anyway, so that's where I'm at with these. Whoops, just totally broke that rubber band. I'm like the rubber band queen. I use rubber bands for everything. I think I got that from Dee Dee Willingham. She uses rubber bands a lot. Anyway, so these are going to fill all of those covers, okay? And then all of this stuff is going to fill all of those pamphlet, or the file folder journals. So this is what I'm talking about. Like, so see, I have all of this note paper, right? This is all the same note paper. So I'll have all these piles, and I'll just take and put one on each pile. So I have these, and then I took all of the flyleaf paper that from a whole bunch of books that I've disassembled. So these are all just flyleaf pages that I folded in half. So then I'll just deal one flyleaf to each pile. If I run out of flyleaves, I'll put two on each pile, or excuse me, I'll just keep going until I run out. If I run short, then I'll just start with the next thing, whatever it is, and wherever I left off. So I hope that makes sense. But so this is that. I don't know if you guys remember that haul. It was like a Goodwill haul video that I made a couple weeks ago. But this is some of that note paper that was in there that I coffee dyed. I thought it turned out really pretty. So a whole bunch of that. So I've just got little note papers, and these are some pocket pages, or no, these are actually like note papers that I folded like into envelopes and stuff like that. This is a bunch of book pages that I coffee dyed that I'm going to use as pages in the journals. I basically took the rest of that book that I've been harvesting pictures from, that Flowers in Color book, or whatever I think it's called. Yeah, Flowers in Color. And I just folded, most of the rest of the pages from that in half to use in these little file folder journals. Just got some coffee dyed like scrapbook paper, like heavy like cardstock scrapbook paper. And this is another like gardening book. Just pages from that, which I think it's interesting. I like to try to use, I try to pay attention to the subject matter of book pages that I'm using in journals, I don't know. And what else is in here? It's an envelope. Some more coffee dyed paper. I pulled out like all the like floral type of coffee dyed stuff that I had. These are some little houses from the Flow book, one of the Flow books. So you can cut out these houses and make like little paper houses. I was going to cut them all out and put them all over my desk at work, but nah. Anyway, so I coffee dyed all those, and I thought they'd be kind of cute in these journals. Some more book pages. Oh, here's some cards, just like some greeting cards that were in that bag from Goodwill. And I'm thinking I might coffee dye these. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. And then, let's see what else. These are some book pages from Laura. And yeah, so she sent me a whole bunch. And I've used every single piece of book paper that she sent me. Anyway, that's a piece of it right there. So I've just kind of made some pocket pages with, you know, like a piece of book page, or, you know, the flower book, and this is a flyleaf page. And I stitched around these. Yeah, tried to make them all on different sides, you know. It's a little like tuck spot right there on that one. This is actually a pocket. It's a pocket, 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 pocket. You get the idea. So I made a bunch of those. So I'll try to make sure that, you know, one of these actually, you know, at least one of these winds up in each of those journals. So, and these are just some smaller ones. So, and then just some floral type flow book paper that I coffee dyed, and some random things. This is a coloring book. This is from, you know, a coloring book of flowers and stuff, and fruits and vegetables. So I figured like bees and dragonflies and butterflies go with that gardening theme, right? So anyway, so I'm gonna kind of do my pile thing and get the signatures sorted out for all of the like flower journals that I'm working on too. Anyway, I just kind of wanted to show you guys what I had going on for new journals. So, and I'm going to write my article this weekend for the magazine. I've been putting it off, but I've been not really putting it off. I'm just like, you know, thinking about it, trying to collect my thoughts. They sent me like an email with like, you know, questions that they'd like to have me answer, you know, in relation to the journal that they're gonna publish and stuff. So like my process and that kind of thing. So I'm really excited about it. Yeah, so I'll let you guys know how that's going as well. So, and thank you for sending me your addresses. I did get a couple of emails. So just please, you know, if you would like to be on my personal mailing list for, you know, sharing, then definitely send me your mailing address so that I can do that. Because you never know. Valentine's Day is coming. Anyway, all right, you guys. I will let you go. But thank you for watching. And let's try to get to 300 subscribers, and then I can do like a giveaway kind of thing. I think that would be cool. I was thinking maybe one of these little mini journals or something, or, you know, some other stuff. Who knows? So anyway, well, thank you for watching. You guys have a great night. Hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed, definitely do that. Hit the little bell and all that good stuff, and share, and, you know, all the things that they tell you to do. So anyway, have a good night, you guys. Bye for now. Love you.